Hey, how's it going, everybody? Welcome back. So, through the magic of editing, not right now, later, we'll wait. This video is going to be recorded twice, okay? This video now is recorded at the time of pressing ship, or buy now, on Amazon.ca for the, and I'm going to screw this name up, Huion, I think it sounds right, 220, whatever model that is. I think that's the newest one, I'm not sure. It's the 22-inch version that they have. So this video is going to be me talking now about why I'm getting that, and then I'm going to edit it and do another recording a week after I've used it intensively, which should be at the end of April is when I'm supposed to get that. You guys don't care, you won't matter. This video is all going to be one big thing by the time it gets there. Then after that, providing I keep it, everything's working solid, I plan on having 3 more videos. One will be at the 6-month mark to see did it break, any kind of problems at all, and what do I think of it still? Hopefully I'm still using it. The next one after that will be an entire year, and then the last one will be 2 years. I think it'll be fun to go back in time and just sort of do like an update to see how it's going. In 2 years' time, I don't know if anybody will be interested in buying this. I don't even know if they'll make it or if there'll be a better one. I'm sure there will be a better one. But I think it'll still be interesting just to have some feedback. Okay? So, before I get into why I'm buying it, the main reason for these reviews, I had a bitch of a time finding any reviews at all for people talking about this tablet specifically with what I do, what I like to do, and what I think most of you people that come to my channel do, which is line art. Basic line art. Roughs / thumbnails, tight digital pencils, and inking. Most likely all in Manga Studio 4 or 5, and some Photoshop. Obviously you guys know I like Photoshop from time to time. But I can't find a damn review that's got this stuff. I'll find a lot of people that will talk briefly about line art, and there's 2 popular ones that I saw. One was by a gentleman named Frenden. I think most of you people that are doing digital art probably know him. And another guy, I apologize, I forget his name, but they both kind of were excellent reviews in discussing it. They'll both be linked in the underbar as well. Check their reviews out, and if you're interested in getting this. But again, Frenden, he talked about line art. The other cat, he sort of danced around it, but a lot of it was just like digital painting. That's not like, okay, it's fun to do. This is what I currently have right now, which you guys know, and there'll be a link in the description bar below if you're interested in picking this up, which is the Cintiq 12WX. Beautiful piece of hardware. I can't recommend this enough. I think it's fantastic. I think it does the job. There's nothing wrong with it at all. Nothing wrong at all. But the mix of why I sort of want to bring this up here too as well is when I first bought this, I had a friend who actually owned one. I think he gave it maybe a month tops, sold it, and bought one of the Cintiq. I think it was probably 22 HD at the time. And I had some spare cash lying around, and I said, you know what? I'm tired of drawing on these things here. This one here is what I was using before that, the Wacom Intuos 3. This one's just a drawing tablet. You draw in here, screen's up here. This guy's the screen built in, right? I was getting kind of tired on that, and I figured, you know what? If I can get a Cintiq, hopefully I'll speed up. My quality will go up. Everything should go up, because it should feel more like drawing traditionally, right? So I bought this, I asked my friend about it first, and he said, don't do it. It's a waste of money. It's crap. Go for the bigger one. The coloring on this guy, the 12WX, sucks. Moving along, yeah, it's not meant for coloring, I'll give it that. There are ways to work around it with 2 monitors. It's not the most attractive way to work, but it is doable. But, and this is the big but, and this is going into why I'm getting this here and doing this review as well, is that even he didn't talk about line art at all. No, nobody talks about line art. I understand digital painting and concept art, all wonderful things. I just wish there was more content out there for people just doing comic book artwork, especially comics. Coloring, who cares? There's so many coloring videos out there. You can have a bamboo, you can have that thing I just showed you and be fine. You don't need, if you're a colorist, just stick with that. You don't necessarily need to buy all this stuff, but as an artist that needs line art and line work and pencil work, I really like this Cintiq 12WX. And the only reason I'm getting going for this new one here is I just wish there was more space. That's basically all it is. I'm getting tired of working with two windows open, one sort of zoomed out so I can see the whole image, and the other one zoomed in while I'm working. Sometimes I'm so lazy that I won't even do the second window, and I can get tunnel vision. And if there's anybody out there that's doing digital art, I hope you know what I mean. And it's something that I became aware of as well, and you might do so as well. But even then, you can still get lost in being zoomed in at a certain amount. I know about the 100% mark on a 600 dpi file in Manga Studio 5 is about as best as I want to go with detail, but sometimes, you know, working on a piece of paper, you see the image coming together, and that's about it. If I can concentrate 100% on the canvas that I'm working on for a better degree, then that's what I want. That's what I'm about. So that's the main reason why I'm hoping for this Huion to do really well. And the other benefit too is I'm hoping, providing the cables aren't too janky and stuff, is that I can actually turn it sideways. And if I can turn it sideways, then it'll be like an 11 by 17 piece of Bristol that anybody that does American style comic books knows that's the size that you work at. And then you do your live area and stuff on the inside. So if I can have a digital device that I can rotate that is the size of Bristol, right? Zoom in once, you're good. Like, that seems incredible to me. At least in the workflow I want to do. Again, if you want concept art or digital painting, check out the 2 reviews I have in the below bar, and then do some private research as well. The price seemed very attractive. It was we'll just say it was 900 and something. We'll just round it up to $1,000 Canadian, tax in and all that stuff. And the next step up, I couldn't find any refurbished Cintiqs to get, like the 22 HD. I did find one on eBay, and this might just be a Canadian issue, or at least my issue at the time. And the lowest one that I saw in there was just under $2,000. And then you could buy brand new Cintiqs for like the 22 or the 24 HD for about 2,500, 3,000 Canadian. So it's a lot of cheese, it's a lot of cheddar. So I figured, you know what, I'm going to pull the trigger on this one here. I've been talking about wanting to upgrade for a while, and I don't, and this is what I'm interested to find out myself, and hopefully I can share with you guys. It can't be as black and white as Cintiq and Wacom is the only way to go. If it is, that actually bothers me a lot. It pisses me off. If somebody's got a monopoly on it, I don't like people that are just the best. It doesn't encourage any kind of bonus to us and you as the consumer if one person's just making it. Don't get me wrong, I have had zero problems, and all you ever hear is Cintiq, Wacom, double thumbs up, which is great. You want them to keep making quality stuff, but if that's it, if that's all you can do is go to those guys for the best, I don't know, maybe it's just me. I kind of get a little butthurt about that. And in saying all that again, I honestly think a lot of those concerns and stuff come from people that are doing digital painting and anything other than just black and white line art. That's it, right? So we're gonna find out. We're gonna see what's going on. I don't want this first part to be too big, too long anyway, because like I say, once I get the actual Huion in, I'm going to set it up, get the drivers. I hear those are a bitch, but we're gonna figure all that out. We're gonna install it, and I'm gonna spend a good solid week. Hopefully I can start it on a Friday night, go right to the next Friday, maybe we'll carry it over to the weekend, and just, I don't know yet. I don't know what I'm going to do. At that time I'm not going to have any client work or anything like that. It's just going to be me and that thing. Just let's go. Balls to the wall. See what it can do. I'm going to put it through its paces, and hopefully you guys will enjoy, and it might even help push you over into picking one up yourself if you're looking to trade it up. Or maybe you just want to look to get something other than just like a generic tablet. Who knows? So, yeah, that's about that. So, I want to say bye right now, but it's not really the end of the video. It's the end of it right now. So again, right now, the next thing we're going to see is probably going to be about five weeks into the future from the time of this recording. And you guys can check out that, and hopefully it's good news. So we'll see. Alright guys, see you on the next one. Alright, through the magic of editing, it's been a week, an entire week. So, I'll cut to the chase right now, and you guys can stay around and, if you like, and just hear about some of the descriptions about why I'm going to say what I'm going to say. But it's a keeper. It's a solid product. I can't recommend it enough, to be absolutely honest. And I think the negatives, as bad as they are, and that's what I'm going to get into first, we're going to kind of do the compliment sandwich. So I'm going to start with good, we're going to end with bad, go back to good. But if you just wanted to see what my experience was a week in, this is it right now. It was a headache at the beginning. Now everything is aces, and it's wonderful. It's absolutely wonderful. So if you're a comic book artist, I would highly recommend it. If you're looking for more room, this is it here all set up. If you are a digital painter especially, I think this is more than fine for you. Again, my concern was if it could handle what I do, which is comic book artwork and or line art slash... basically line art, I guess, you know. I know not everybody draws heavily rendered things or with shadows and stuff. Some people just do gray washes or a simple animation style and then add color to it. It's been wonderful for that. So, thumbs up. Highly recommend it. Go check it out. So, let's get into the nitty-gritty of it. So, the biggest problem I had with this was the drivers. And all the reviews that I had watched, and I'm assuming you guys have watched as well, and if not, maybe you're doing so. All of them said... I think except one that I came across, where the drivers were a headache and a problem, massive problem. And I was sort of in the mindset of, I do this a lot. I think a lot of us do this until it happens. It's kind of like well, it won't happen to me. It can't happen to me, right? So I knew about that stuff going in. And I had done my research. I did everything everybody told me. Uninstall my Wacom drivers. Totally unplug everything. Don't plug any of this in at all. Install the drivers for this after all these restarts and things, and then plug her in, and it'll auto, you know, do driver things, and you're good to go. And I did all that, and it still it wasn't working, and I was actually getting bummed out big time. I was getting a little heated. I sent a couple emails to the company, and they got back to me promptly. I should add as well, and I am going to speak on their defense and on their behalf as well. Not in a justification of this and making a purchase for them, but just in the way this all turned out. So I was going back and forth, and I remember uninstalling drivers, reinstalling drivers, using old drivers, and what was happening was as I drew on the screen, it would be okay. It wouldn't be brutal, but if I started doing small circles, you want to talk about Jag City? It was like the cursor would start really, you know, moving around, and it was noticeable. And there's no way you could work under those circumstances. If I was just doing painting, you know, I might be able to, but when you get into the precision stuff, it wasn't working. And so I emailed the company. They got back to me saying, you know, here's a list of what to do, and it was sort of broken English, and it's not their fault. Again, this came from Hong Kong. So, and I talked about this on my stream this week as well. So, if I sell a comic book to somebody in Hong Kong, we'll use that as an example, and I don't speak their language, right? And if they have a problem and I'm trying to communicate with them with a solution with the best interest in mind, it's not my native language. So there's going to be there's a barrier there, no matter how good, unless I hire somebody that can translate 100%. You know what I'm saying? So it was there. In saying that, the response that I did get was very helpful. I went through all the things that the lady provided, still no solution. And I was getting I started asking these questions. I got this on Wednesday, and I believe it was Thursday night. And she got back to me with all this. But then I didn't hear anything from them for 2 days, Saturday and Sunday. Again, it's the weekend. I get the weekends off myself. I hope you guys get at least 2 days a week off. So again, I can't fault them for any of this stuff. It's just a timing thing. So I was left to spend I don't say an entire, but I'd say half my Saturday looking for how to get this to work, which was a huge piss off. When I got my Wacom, not a problem at all. Installed, I had an Intuos already plugged in the Cintiq and all that. A good buddy of mine, James, he's the one that actually kind of got me looking into something non-Cintiq. So I gotta tip my hat off to him. So he basically showed me, or told me about other people that were having these problems as well, and that Wacom drivers aren't just where they say they are. And I think there's a program you can download to uninstall Wacom totally, but I couldn't find that. And what I had to do was do some Google research, you know, and look online for other people that had somewhat solutions. This isn't a really talked about device. Cintiqs and Wacom products are everywhere, right? So I looked around, and lo and behold, Wacom's drivers are like weeds, man. As much as I love Wacom, I feel like that's, I don't want to say this in a demeaning or an evil way, but it feels to me that, and I don't even know if this is possible, this is just a guy that knows very limited tech with this stuff, but it feels like the drivers for Wacom, they were like putting them in places that it shouldn't be. And it was actually preventing this from even functioning. And so the deceptive side of me thinks that maybe there's something they add to it to make it complicated, so that when people talk about these things, it's easier with Wacom. Everything's Wacom, everything, all that stuff. I don't know if that's true, it just felt that way. So I went in there, figured out all that stuff, got rid of all that stuff, and it still wasn't working. The last thing I did, and this is, again, just going full circle with the communication barrier that I had with the lady, she provided screenshots of what to do. And in the drivers that pop up, there's a check mark that just says tablet PC. And it's checked. And she had a red circle on that. And everything else she had a red circle on in that document had no check mark saying that's how it should be. So that's what I thought it was. And I was just frustrated, so I just like, click it off. Let's just see. I've tried everything else. 100% now. Everything in this is functionable. Pressure sensitivity is amazing. Everything's great. The only negative thing now, the last negative thing that I will say with it, is that they actually shipped me 2 different pens. This is the one that normally comes with it. You guys can check that out online. This is another one. I actually prefer this one over the one that they gave me. And it's got I had to buy batteries to put inside there, which is really weird because I'm not used to that. But you just click this down to push the battery into, it looks like a watch battery connector. And it just, I don't know, there's a feel to it. But the negative thing that I will say, and this is the last one, and it actually took a little getting used to, and I'm still working on it, with the Wacom, where my pointer was, it was on the screen pretty much 1-to-1. This one, I know there's a little bit of a glass surface people talk about. I don't really notice it. I've been using a Surface Pro for a while, so I don't even have that matte thing that came with it to make it feel like a Cintiq. Don't even need it, to be honest with you. I'm used to just drawing on the Surface Pro. But with this one, the cursor, and I don't know if it's just because it's the size of it, but as I get to the top, the cursor actually is a little bit above it. And when I start getting down here, it's a little bit below. And what happens is I'm finding that as I'm drawing, I'm instinctually now just looking at the cursor on the screen, not the nib that's on this. And I think that's just one of those disconnects that comes with digital regardless. I did notice that in the beginning with my Cintiq, so I'm not going to slight this at all for that. What else can we talk about? I did notice some people were asking me questions about dust under the screen. I'll be honest with you guys, I don't nitpick with stuff. I haven't even really looked. So it could be there, and I understand there's the argument, I'm spending the money, you guys are spending the money, you want to know if there's a defect in it. Nothing. I haven't had any negative anything with it. The mat that did come with it, the matte screen, it's back there. Apparently it's supposed to have double-sided tape on it. It didn't. So I actually had masking tape on the corners to put it in, just to get it on there. I thought that was pretty ghetto, you know, it was pretty lame. But after a while, you know, while I was trying to figure out the drivers, like I removed it and I started drawing on here, and I haven't put it back since. So what else did we talk about? Oh, so the next video will be in a month's time. We'll just do an update to this. You guys can check that out if you want, and just to see if anything broke or anything like that. And then the last one we'll do, I'm thinking it'll probably be 6 months and a year. Those will be the last 2 videos. I don't think I'm going to show you guys or record us drawing together on this thing. I don't really think you need to see it. You guys can look at any YouTube content that I'm going to make after this video, after this date. It's all going to be on this. I mean, I know it's fun to watch people draw on these things, so maybe we'll do a video later, but I'm not going to put it into this one. What else can we talk about? This stylus, the one thing that's really weird with it is it makes this mouse sound. Like a lost mouse. I don't know if you're able to hear it. Let me just try and see if I can get it. Take some warming up. I guess it's not going to work, but as I go in there, you know, I'm not doing a lot of strokes and stuff. I'm doing like taps and rendering really quick lines. And what happens is you hear like a squeak. It's like a little mouse sound, and you might get annoyed by it. I don't know. Maybe I have a defective one. But the second one they gave me starting to do it as well. The other thing with the nib. On the Wacoms, at least the Cintiq I had, it's stiff. I can't even notice when I press down on it if this goes in at all. This guy though, it like, look at this. I can, here, let's just go in here so you can see. Let's get a focus on that. You see how much I can push that in? That takes some getting used to for sure, because I'm not used to doing that. So it actually feels more akin to drawing with like a quill pen. Anything that you've ever had to, like, you know, if you want to do calligraphy, you know, those ones that kind of have like the teeth like this, and it's just fine ink until you press, and then it's like it pushes it out. So that's taking some getting used to, but I haven't noticed any deterrent or quality loss in my artwork at all. I can 100% say once the driver issue for you, I'll just assume it's going to happen. Once you get over that, there is a light at the end of that tunnel, that this is 100% equal to a Cintiq in my opinion. I have no desire now to buy a new Wacom Cintiq unless something happens to this, quality-wise down the road. Viewing angles look good to me. The color's spot on. It's a massive leap from what I was working with before, which was the Cintiq 12WX. The size, now I'm used to it, but the initial jump was just like, I felt happy. As weird as that sounds, it feels like drawing on paper. And the one really cool thing, if you guys are doing comics, and I'll be moving this around, but I can actually rotate it up like this, okay? And it's a little bit bigger at the top than the bottom, but it's like an 11 by 17 piece of art Bristol that anybody that's been doing comic books, you guys know that's the size that you're working on. I'm happy. I'm very happy. I don't want to say proud. I wasn't going to say proud. Not proud. But I'm excited to talk about it. I hope you guys at least consider this if you're looking for a Cintiq alternative anyway because of cost. And the number one thing that I've had so far, and it's only been a week, so there's still the kind of like a new relationship. There's still the butterflies and the magic still there, right? But 6 months time we're going to be bitching at each other. This thing's not going to turn on, you know? And you're better off without me kind of thing. But the more you work with it, the more easier its nuances kind of take over from your Wacom experiences, if that's where you're coming from. But that one glaring thing was Wacom has this ideology built around it that it's the best product out there. And it very well could be. My experience with products have been through the roof. I can only imagine the Cintiq of this version, this 22 HD stuff, it might feel better. I know it's going to have the keys on the side, and it has certain things to it that feel really well, I'm sure. But in saying that, the biggest question I had going in from that to this is, does it stack up? Does it stack up? And so far, 100% it does. So I know I'm rambling, going around back and forth. I'm just trying to think off the top of my head if I forgot anything. Please leave a comment below if you guys picked one of these up, or if you're interested in it, if this review helped you. If you have any other questions about it, please put it in the bottom. I'll do my best to come back and answer this from time to time, because I do feel more people need to be making videos on things like this, doing things that I do. And that's not in a gloating way or nose up in the air kind of way. It's just, if you're like me and I'm looking for a digital way to draw that's not a tablet, that's like a monitor that you can draw on, or a Cintiq kind of deal, that the videos I was finding, nobody's doing comic book art videos for that stuff, and that's kind of, it got me upset. And you know, like, why isn't there anybody out there talking about this stuff? It's just put a camera there and talk, you know. So I'm giving it my thumbs up. If you guys, whatever my opinion means to you, I can vouch for it 100%. And we're gonna let it go from there. So the next video will be in a month's time from now. It'll be very brief update. Is it good? Is it bad? What happened? And 6 months from there, and a year. So again, guys, until the next video, keep reading comics, keep making comics, and hopefully you're drawing on one of these soon. Okay.